think we're live. We are. Excellent. Make sure this is all working here. I'm going to use this one to see my chat, which is not normal, but it'll work today. Hello, Bart Johnson Productions. Always rely on you to be here, can't I? So, not a proper live show today. For those of you who saw me last night, because I kind of snuck in here last night to do a little extra work, I'm going to basically show you what I showed you last night to show it to you again. And unfortunately, you guys were right. I'm going to add more. Sucks. Okay. So, first of all, good morning. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment. This is kind of like the photo saga. This should be the end of it. We're nearly done. The setup we have not yet cleaned up. It is still a complete and total disaster around here, but we're making progress. We are definitely making progress here. I wanted to show you guys the Robert, good morning, Martin, Burnstack, hello. I wanted to show you what I've done with the camera rigging and what I still have to do. And for those who were watching last night, you guys were totally right. So I'm just going to say it. Y'all were right. So let's see here. You will recall I had the camera. Oh, no, I need to see my. I can get my little iPad so I can see what the heck you're saying. Here we go. Okay, you will recall that I had the camera rigged up onto. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Rigged onto this. This is how I'd kind of set things up here. So it was on here. It wasn't ideal. I knew it wasn't ideal, but I was trying it. It didn't work. So, due to popular suggestion, popular demand, I have put this big old honkin' bar across here. And on this big old honkin' bar, we have, let's see here. I know this is a lot of like nauseous camera movement here. Sorry. I'm trying to show you guys what we've done. We've got the TV mounted to the bar with this nice big old mounting system and the camera on top of this bar. And this is awesome, except there is a problem, which you can see if I do this. It moves. It moves a lot. It's super braced in. This bar is not going anywhere, but because of the extra weight of the monitor pulling down on it, it's just the wrong angle. Anyway, it's just, it moves. And it doesn't move spontaneously, but if I bump the rig, it'll move and it'll shake for a while, and that's the problem. If I could rely on never ever bumping the rig, I think I'd be okay, but I can't. So what I'm going to do is end up putting another one of these bars. Like every time I add a bar, it's another $25 because it's like 20 bucks, $23 for the bar plus the hardware to mount it. No, so it's got us closer to 30 because these L brackets are expensive. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to put another one of these bars underneath it, and that will stabilize this. Ironically, I can't actually bolt. I won't be able to bolt this into the second bar, but it'll just rest against it, and that's going to be enough. So, sadly, yet one more thing to add on, but that's that. However, there is some good news about this. Let's see here. And again, for those who watched last night, this is a bit of a repeat, but I'm so excited about it that I'm going to show it to you anyway. Again, check this thing out. Remember how I had, let's lower this a little bit more. Remember how I had a camera on a tripod that was my close-up cam. So if I ever wanted to do, there's the above cam, right? But if I want to do a close-up of something here, I had a camera on a tripod over here. Instead of on a tripod now, it's on this mounting bar, but look at this. I can now move it just by grabbing and dragging that, squeezing the tripod head. This is an old head. I've had this thing for years. It's been on a shelf for years. Something came up in an earlier discussion, and I pulled it out and I thought of it, and then I realized at one point, oh my God, this is perfect. I can just reach over and grab that and twist it and put it into the position that I want. Let go, and it's solid. It's, turn the friction down a little bit. It's so cool. This, I think, is going to work out really, really well. So I'm excited about that. All right, what's going on in the comments here? Martin is thinking. Martin, you keep on thinking. Burns, no joy in being right. There's always joy in being right, Burns. Come on, you know that. We really like it. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a cool desk mount? So here's the funny thing. This, I don't know what this thing is called or I don't remember where I got this. I bought a few of these at once. This isn't that uncommon. I think this brace is fairly easy to find. What's attaching it to it, the top of this is just your standard, I think it's called a mini pin. This is like what's on top of a C-stand. This adapter here is mini pin to 3816. Which is what I use on the top of my painter's pole. You know how I have that whole painter's pole rig with a ball head on the mount so I can do real estate photography? So I need another one of these, and I am having a hard time finding it. I can find the mini pin to 1/4 inch, but I haven't found a mini pin to 5/8/16. So I'm a little concerned about that. I may have to, if I can finally find them, buy a couple of them. I don't know why they're so hard to find, but maybe I'm just being stupid about it. But that is just screwing into the bottom of the tripod mount. Nothing fancy there. That goes onto that. And as you can see, I haven't wired it up yet, but I've got it. And this is a GH4. You know, the autofocus isn't crazy fast, but it's good enough for what I'm doing. You've seen it sometimes. I'm like, come on, camera focus, but otherwise it's fine. I'll be able to see, I can, as I'm positioning it, I can look up there to frame it up. I can reach up and zoom as well. The lens that's on here is the 35 to 100, the slow lens. What is this? The f4 to 5.6, the nothing special lens. But it works great for this. It works actually really, really great as my close-up lens here. So I'm stoked about that. Let's see here. Stream looks good. No buffering or stuttering. Burn says, well, that's good. Which is odd because the software, when I'm going through the Mevo, YouTube often tells me that it's buffering. But then you guys tell me that it's great, so I don't know. So that's happening. Other little things. Let's move this around. This is kind of fun. I've got a couple of cold shoes showing up. I don't think they'll come till tomorrow. Sorry as I bang you through here. So my whole shelving array here. The position of the receiver was always an issue. Where does this go? It's just kind of sat places. I'm getting a couple of cold shoes that one of them is going to screw into here, onto the shelf. So this just sits on the shelf and sits perfectly like that. And another cold shoe is going to get mounted upside down under here so that my Ninja can mount onto that and suspend there. Cool, right? So the reason I need the Ninja is when I switch this system over to 4K, I need this to capture the, what is this thing called, the HyperDeck? The HyperDeck that I have here, it only records 1080p. The only reason that I even have the HyperDeck is because I was having issues recording to the Atomos at some point. I actually don't know if this issue is still there or not, but whenever I do 4K, I have to go to that. So anyway, so there's that. So hopefully that works. After that, we're like really close, other than the utter disaster back here. It's been interesting seeing the comments on lighting. It seems kind of split looking at the comments on Friday's show, whether the background should be darker or it should be lit the same as the foreground. Really interesting to see the kind of split on that. And since I've changed the lens, Ryan's playing Galaga over there. Since I had to change the lens, I had the 25 f1.4 on there. I don't remember what the aperture was, but I had to put the zoom on the 12 to 35 because I brought it closer. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to get quite the bokeh that I had. I don't know. We got to see. There's still stuff to do. But anyway, that's about it. So I just wanted to give you that quick update. Sorry we don't have a proper live show today. Oh, and for those, oh yeah, right, you probably haven't seen this. I got my audio blankets back up, so I think it'll sound a little bit better in here. It's still not going to sound as good as it did in the other room. The other room is more isolated, more contained, but it's going to be awesome. I guess that's that. Hey, if you're not subscribed, oh, I know, I had something else I totally wanted to ask you guys about. Hold on, let me pull up the email and get the right name. So, have any of you ever bought or sold a Twitter account, Instagram account, anything that requires a transfer of simply a login and a password? And here's why I'm asking. I'm going to do an experiment, and I found an Instagram account for sale that I'm going to buy, not for PhotoJoseph, don't worry, for something else. This is going to be a test. And the person selling it has never done this before, and they're very concerned. So, Sabrina Thomas, if you're watching this, if that is your name, that's what I've got on your PayPal. How do we do this safely? Because Sabrina's concerned, and I totally understand. Sabrina's concerned that she's going to she's send me a request for $50, right? And I paid her the $50, and she immediately refunded the transaction. Her concern is that once she gives me the password, that I will then cancel the PayPal transaction, which is totally legit thing to be worried about, because that could happen, right? She gives me the password, I change the password, she can no longer get in, and then I cancel the financial transaction, and there's nothing she can do about it. So how do you do this? How do you sell something like that where you can put it in escrow or whatever it is so that we're both protected? Or, I mean, I don't want to pay and then wait, I think it's 30 days until you can no longer cancel a transaction. I don't want to wait that long, and even at that point, I could be screwed, right? Because they could say, well, just kidding, I'm not actually going to send it to you. I sold it to 50 other people at the same time. So that's not a good solution. What is the solution? How do you buy and sell something online like that, where you're relying on the other person's honesty, because clearly, if you don't know each other, you know, who knows? So, I don't know. If you guys have an idea, let me know. Watch the comments here and see if there is. And if you don't have any ideas, and Sabrina, I asked you to watch, if you're able to watch, this is my show. If I screw you out of your money, you can come on here and tell everybody that I did. It would be bad. That would be bad for me. So you can trust me. But I totally get it. Totally get it. Let's make sure that you're comfortable with this transaction. So that's that. So let me see if there's anything in the comments. Gareth says, some hue color change bulbs would be great for the background. Yeah, I would have to have a lot of hue bulbs to change the background colors, because there is a ton of light being pumped into the background, so that'd be a ton of hue bulbs. And besides, the background is the working studio space where I go back to do live demos, so I don't want to have funky colors back there that needs to be just lit. But nice suggestion. I do like those hue bulbs, but not for this. Martin says, looking good. It does sound better. You're on what do you call it? My Shure mic right now. You're not on. I'm not on the lab. So whatever the sound is now, this is not what you're going to hear in the real show. Martin says, had details to a lawyer, third party, as you would a house transfer. Yeah, but you're talking about $50. You're not going to involve a lawyer, right? $50, it's not worth anything like that. Maybe she could list it as an item on eBay, but even there on eBay, well, let's see. See, if she sold it on eBay and I was the only buyer, only person, I just bought it. Yeah, I can't rescind the money, so that's true. She would be protected, but I'm not protected because she could still send me the wrong password or just refuse to send the password, right? Although maybe that's better. Maybe eBay's not a bad way to do it. Interesting. Burns says, never sold a social media account. Agree, you can absolutely trust. See, Burns saying you can trust me. There you go. He's a professional with a lot of stake if you were to screw anyone over. See, that's why I wanted to do this here on the live show. Say, you can trust me. I'm a good guy. Okay, that's that. All right, guys, we're going to kill it. I've got the biggest mess ever to clean up here, but we're getting close. We are getting close. So thanks for tuning in. And if you are, you know the routine, subscribe if you're not subscribed, hit that little bell. And you know what? Hit the bell. That's all I'm going to say. All right, I'm out of here. Take care of yourself, people. Brent says, is this live? Yes, Brent, this is live. You are live, but it's about to be done. It's about to be over. Look at that. Zoom in for the push.